Howdy doody everybody, it's Brian here from quantlabs.net. Just wanted to let you know I've got a very crude, not my finest moment here to develop a very simplistic, random generating, call it stock exchange simulator. I've got two video segments in this video that will highlight basically my database, how I'm planning to work with it. Everything changes, as you know. I'm just going to show you the intent. I'm also going to try to, from a very high level, walk you through the code, which is available for my elite members of this thing. Nothing fancy, done in .NET, using Postgres. I give my rationale with it, and enough blabbing. And here we go. Talk to you later, and hopefully you'll get a better idea how things will pan out at the end of this. Talk to you later. Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. I just wanted to go through very high level of this supposedly new stock exchange simulator. I've gone on and on about why I'm doing it. Just in a nutshell, it's just so that I can run strategies that I'm developing against random data. I firmly believe in the theory of random walking, theory of random walk, whatever. And what I wanted to do is create a little simulated environment of bid and asks being shot out from somewhere, maybe from Prince Charles's ass, I don't know. But just to print out or display bid and asks on various market assets. So these are the typical market assets I'm going to be probably listening to on the get-go when I launch, go live trading. There's about 30 plus Forex, so all the major trading pairs. So these are all from Oanda. This is what Oanda you can trade with right now, according to the FX Trade app. So you can trade the Euro 550, Swiss 20, Hong Kong. Also, so you get some indices, some major future agriculture, soybean, I think corn, wheat, precious metal, palladium, obviously oil. So these are all the majors that you want to watch. The treasury, and so on and so forth. So what I've done is I've listed them out. I've got here, these are the symbols that, as close as I could get, thinking maybe these may be associated with Yahoo Finance or what I can get through Yahoo Finance. Doesn't really matter. All we care about is data. That's it. It's very random. So what it will do, it will shoot out all these random values and stuff them into a database. Originally I was wanting to do it on a message queue, but as I've been hinting in the last few days, I'll be becoming a nomad, traveling nomad one day. So I want to be able to access everything through a website or through a web server or through some kind of hosted, dedicated hosted server somewhere. So I've chosen Postgres because that's a standard database that is used when you go to some plain vanilla hosting provider. You know, there's MySQL, and you can get Postgres. Even with my hosting company, I can use Postgres. So that is very possible. So I'm using Postgres locally here to connect into, and then have my other trading system, which I have shown as well, which is basically the Infragistics trading equity demo, but it's going to be heavily hacked on my part for my needs, which is pretty well an all-encompassing automated trading system. It's pretty good, and I was really impressed with it. I've got a license for it, and I'm going to be using that as my my monolithic app for automated trading. And I'll go into that in coming days or weeks, because there's some other pieces that still need to be done. But it's a good development path to get up and running fast. So that's what we need to understand. We're doing this quick and dirty and very fast to get up and running. I'm about to show you is very cryptic, very primitive, not my finest hour, and I would hope that you don't follow suit to thinking this is how you should be coding, because you shouldn't be. This is for my own internal needs. I'm not here to show off what I can and cannot do. I just want something up and running really fast. That's the goal. Okay, so here's the database. I just call it test. This is from my original work. If you've been following me since we call the AK-47 days of my database for using with MATLAB, I decided to keep that database intact and just add a new table. For those that are not familiar with this database, it's a fairly sophisticated database. Let me just show you some highlights here. This is very cool. So I have a futures. These are all the futures listed on Yahoo that you can track. Okay, so if I go into future, what you'll find. Let me not do that. But let me just show you the amount of future assets that you can get or securities instruments available in this future table. Yep. Count from, oh, I know. You have to put the data or the schema name, I think. Future, yes. We'll do that. Take that out. Follow. This is now Postgres. Okay, so just alone in the future, we have 12,870 future contracts, or not contracts, but assets to choose from. They're all divided up in all the major currencies, US, so on and so forth. Just before I forget, this tool that you're looking at connects into my Postgres database. This was done a few months ago. It's called Razor SQL. It's a great front end for Postgres development. It's the best one I've seen, and it works as probably as good for my needs again as what you get in the SQL Server Studio Management tool, which I think is awesome. But anyways, this is the Razor. So again, going back to the database, we have 12,000, nearly 13,000 assets here in the count. We can do ETFs. Let me just show you. It's pretty vast. 10,000 there. Mutual funds, indices, stocks. It goes by country. I've talked about this a lot, so I don't want to get too far into it. But you can see it's a pretty vast amount of data that's available to me. So going back to my database, this new one I just created called Ticks. Okay, I've created 4 tables. Very simple. It's just a timestamp. I just simulated again. Simulated demo. The symbol, which is really this thing right here, should be BNO, FEU, EWL, blah blah blah. Okay. So that's the symbol, and then I generate a random bid and ask, and I try to keep it as tight as possible just for the charting in the Infragistics system, which I'll demo in coming weeks. Okay, so there's that. That's the database. So I'll show you what the database looks like. Let me just see. The database should be empty. Test ticks. So we execute. Oh no, it's not. So you can see what we have here. We have typically your timestamp, your symbol, your bid, and your ask, and that's generated from the program I'm about to show you. All right. So let me just keep track of the count here because I'm going to run this, and I want you. Actually, let me see if I can delete delete all rows. So yeah, let me just get rid of all this other crap here. Hopefully that'll work. Yes. So let me just see if Lazy Man's way of generating SQL. We just want to select star and let's see if it. Yep, it's empty. Okay, so let's jump into our Visual Studio here. So this will be available. This entire package will be available in for my elite members. You just download it. Hopefully, you can get up and running, get your Postgres running, and then I also provide the DDL, how to create that table. So essentially, what I'm going to give you is the DDL. This guy right here. Let me just do that again here. DDL is just the way the descriptive language to create your table, which is your ticks. So it'll create all that for you. Okay, and the data types as well is included. All right, so back to the Visual Studio. All right, so like I said, this is a very simplistic program. I've kind of ripped off parts of it from the way to read Postgres. It's not an easy process to read Postgres because obviously it's an open source database, so it's meant for Linux guys. So, because I'm using C#, there's not a lot out there for reading Postgres databases. So I've grabbed one, I kind of played with it, and just said, screw it, I'll just keep it as is. So the interface you're about to see is pretty well nothing. It's just a little button to get things working. It's basically a win form. Let me just show you. So there's a successful build. Let me start her up. So, hey, so as I said, there was a successful build. So let's fire up this little GUI thing. Here she is. It's just a form 1. Everything's all generic. I just entered this in, but originally with the original project that I played with, you can enter in all your database credentials, but it's all hard-coded in this program. And that's it. There's nothing. But, as I said, it's very crude. But you will notice that the database is growing. Okay, and let me just stop it. Okay, so let's see how many records we have. Okay, so we have just in that short amount of time, we generated almost 1,500, which is quite possibly real market conditions considering over 30 assets. So here we are. Let me just show you one. We'll call up corn, let's say. Where corn, or where, what's called test. Test symbol. Symbol equals corn. Let's hope that this works. There we go. So you can see that it does change, not a lot. Those are over a minute, but hopefully that's good enough data to work with for the Infragistics charting, and maybe be able to build up a big enough database. Now let's go through the code just very high level. As I said, this code will be available for my elite members. And basically what we have here is we have the program, calls the form, very simple stuff. Which is, that's the look of it. Here is the initial methods and classes. So we have basically the gist of the code is right here. So when you press that little button, this is what gets fired off. So what it'll do is it'll seed the assets. Now, what do I mean by seeding assets? Well, all it's really going to do, it's going to go out into Yahoo. It's going to, and it basically it's going to download the latest stock symbol, which is this, obviously, the year, which is current, and then download the latest. And then what it's going to do is it's going to grab the latest market close for that security, and then basically put it into a list that's kind of within the class, and that's all this does. Very simple stuff. And then I have the Yahoo Finance methods here that will go out and call using this URL from Yahoo, and that's it. Okay, and pretty simple stuff. And from there, so we do what we call seeding the data or the assets. Where am I? Yeah, so we seed the assets, then we run the simulation. That's all it does. So once we launch the simulation, it's very simple. Just go through that list of assets, and all it's going to do is it's going to randomly generate the bid and ask. Now, this is probably not the most intelligent way of doing it, but it's just between 100 and just multiplies it by this. If I want more movement, I can probably make it less precise and do that same with the bid and ask, and that just adds it to the current bid and ask, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. And basically, I would try to like maybe output the data onto the Win form, but do you really care about that? And then once that data gets generated, that's when it inserts it into the SQL database. So where am I? Where is my database stuff? There we are. So all it does, it just each one it connects into the database, does an insert, and does some other fun stuff, closes the connection. That's it. Real basic stuff, but it works. And so what that means now is I can use the charting front end can now read the database and be able to chart every so often. Makes it look like it's really in real time, but when I ran it and debugged it, it's kind of every few seconds. So it just kind of redraws everything, but it's pretty fast. But hopefully you've seen that app, and then that's the next big step, trying to figure out how to feed this data, which is obvious, through the database, and have the Infragistics charting app, the equity trading app, be able to read that database and then populate the chart, update the charts as assets are being loaded into the database. So hopefully that'll help out. I'm sure there's gonna be lots of changes. Also, if you need to see where I'm making these changes, this is for my elite stuff. I just put this posting together. There's going to be a couple of videos. This package, the solution from Visual Studio, to be able to get you up and running, so you get all the code, and then yeah, that's pretty well it. So this is the first phase, and let me think. What is that? So there you go. Phase one's being done. I've just got another video on the way. I'll go over the updated architecture. I've got quite a few people watching what I'm doing now. Thanks a lot for being part of it. I know it can be frustrating where I go back and forth between things, but I think this is a pretty solid plan now. You know, as I've gone through all the different technologies and what works, what doesn't work, and where I can get stuff done faster in terms of development. So hopefully you've got a better idea on this exchange simulator, call it that. It's just a really, I don't know, a little toy to play with, but it'll really help out in terms of generating as close to market activity on a local system, and then be able to test that in a real world situation. I'm going to add some new features to this thing down the line, but right now I just want to get the connectivity working and just be able to get the charting working and being fed from this data in both applications, the equity trader and the financial dashboard from Infragistics. I'll be going through that in another video, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And again, all the source code I've shown is available for my elite members, and that's how it's going to be providing all that for them. Okay. Other than that, have a good day, good evening, good night, all that. Got questions, just post a comment on my YouTube. If you are seeing it in my Facebook, do the same. Yeah, because your inputs really helps me out, and I'll try my best, but we do get the occasional troll that just likes to be snarky or whatever, and not very productive, I guess, but it's part of being on the internet. Talk to you later.